The three biggest rules if you're a beginner trader. If you're looking to make money with trading, I think everybody at some point in their life has said, hey, I want to be a stock investor. I've watched Wolf of Wall Street, I've watched some movies, and I want to make money from trading stocks. Can't be that complicated, okay? Look at these charts, it's going up, let me buy it, okay? There are three rules when it comes to trading, and these are like not necessarily just beginner rules, but also pro rules that I think pro traders mess up on every single day. Rule number one is you have to be disciplined in your sizing of your trades. If you're sizing trades in a different way where you're like, I'm really feeling good about this trade, I'm gonna put a lot more money in here, and you're not feeling so good about this, you're gonna put a little bit less. If it's not a formula, if it's not structured, you can lose everything on one trade. You can fuck up your entire portfolio on one trade. I know we think the opposite way. I know that we think if something is really going up, we can put a lot more money in. I think that people that really want to study trading, in 3 to 6 months, you can learn where a stock is gonna go. You can learn where the position is moving more so, but a lot of times you get very emotional, and that's the biggest problem with trading, and people get emotional and they bet the wrong amount, or they want something to work a certain way. They don't size properly. Now, I size my trades in a couple of different ways. I have a half a position, I have a full position, and then I rarely ever do double positions, okay? I typically reload up or average in, that's what they call it, but I never really double up the first trade. So I'm very disciplined in the way that I do it. If I don't feel confident about something, I do a half position. And a lot of times in those half positions, if it goes backwards, I feel confident in it enough to where I can average it in, which means that I'm buying the stock at a lower level to where my overall cost is now kind of half or decreased, and it's not so bad. That's the big thing about trading. You have to be very, very disciplined about what you do. And most people break from their formula because they get emotional and they end up ruining their entire portfolio. Rule number two that's very, very important when it comes to trading is you need to learn when to walk away. You need to learn, and you need to have minimum amounts, or maximum amounts, I should say, of when you are just done. If you lose a certain amount of money in a day, just give it up. There are certain days that I actually just don't trade because I know that things are going to be unpredictable. But more so, if you're just losing, you kind of want to make money, and that can be bad. So you need to have an off switch. You need to be able to turn it off. You need to look at trading as a job, as a career, as something that you're disciplined with, not necessarily like a 24/7 thing that you can jump into here and there. And you don't necessarily need to try to force trades or get a certain amount of trades every single day. You need to have a minimum amount that I would recommend that you lose when you need to walk away. If I lose a certain amount of money in a day, I'm like, hey, the day's done. Okay, we're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna reevaluate. And that's what I'd recommend for a lot of businesses, not just trading, but you need to have a maximum that you're like, hey, it's over. A lot of people try to force trades and make things happen even when things are going bad for the day, and it ends up becoming very much like number three. And number three is probably the most dangerous thing in trading, and that is what I call revenge trading. It's when a stock goes the opposite way that you think it's gonna go, and you want to win on that stock. You wanna win on a trade. So it didn't work out one time, and you basically pick up that stock again, and you think that something's gonna happen. It's gone down before when I wanted to go up, so now it's gonna go up. Eventually it's gotta go up, right? And trust me, I was very much a victim of revenge trading. Revenge trading is probably one of the biggest things that people do to fuck up their entire portfolio. So when it comes to trading, you need to be very disciplined on what your position sizing is, because if you don't, you're gonna have irregularity and you're gonna lose on just one position. And number two, you need to be very, very good at learning when to walk away, learning to not get emotional. I mean, this all really comes down to emotion. And last but not least is revenge trading, where you're hyper-focused on one stock and you're trying to get that stock. You're trying with everything to get that stock to move in the direction that you want it to move because you believe for whatever reason, but it's not doing that. Many times you're gonna know where a stock is gonna move, but somehow deep down, your emotions are gonna tell you that this is that and this is this, and you're gonna feel an inclination to move it in a certain way, and it's just not gonna work. So 3 rules when it comes to trading. Trading is very difficult. I think the biggest thing about trading is that it's not that you can't understand, it's not that you can't learn, there's a barrier of entry there, but more than anything else, people just get very emotional. People are unable to manage their money and their ability to throw and leverage their money. People are not business people. A lot of times they fail because they're not good business people. Number one, they could be profitable, but they spend that money in their own personal lifestyle. They have a great month. They think that, oh, I'm going to spend some money. When in reality, let's say my positions are typically 3 months out. So on a serious level, I should evaluate my positioning and my accounts at every 6 months to a year, because it's not a month-to-month thing. My positions are 3 months out. So sometimes, like the first month when I buy the positions, they'll go down. Like I'll actually lose money in a certain month, technically. But the next 2 months, it'll be really big. Sometimes 1 month will be very big, and the other 2 months will be losing months. So I can't really calculate my spend in a certain way. There are some traders that are like extremely consistent and they have more conservative accounts, and my more conservative accounts have more money stocked up. But when it comes to my options trading and my volatile trading and my in and out positions, it's a 3 to 2 month kind of swing. And so my income is kind of inconsistent in those 3 months, where 1 month might be good, 2 months might be good, 3 months might be great, but they're not always the same. It always varies. So trading, you have to evaluate it properly, and a lot of people are not business people and they give into their emotion, and that emotion is what really destroys them in life. That emotion is what breaks them down and it ruins them. And a couple of trades, you can lose everything, man. Because the thing about trading is that you need to prevent loss. Trading is all about loss prevention. The more money you lose, the harder it is to get back. When you lose money, it's not even double the difficulty to get it back, infinitely more difficult, because you're risking more of your portfolio that's fixed in order to get a certain amount back that's now going to require a larger percentage of your portfolio. You lose money, you're risking a larger percentage to make the same amount of money that you used to make when the portfolio was larger. So very technical stuff. Just want to put this little bit out here. 3 rules that I have when it comes to trading.